Hey guys, welcome back to this beautiful channel. It is me, the Chainsaw Maniac, and we are here to help you guys out with your webcomics. And hey guys, before I start the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay awesome, of course. This topic has been talked about it a lot. I don't think that much, but enough times to where I was like, okay, I gotta do another video on this, okay? Because people's asking these questions all the time. They're having doubts and I gotta help them out with that. So this video I'll be talking about if your art is really good enough to get onto Webtoon. Now, first off, yes, okay, no matter what your art looks like, it's always good. It can be improved, but it's good enough to be on there, okay? Because it's not mostly about the art. So now we're going to talk about the importance of art. Okay, your art specifically to your webcomic. How much importance does it place on your webcomic? And to be honest, not very much, okay? It just has to be good enough to tell the story. That's all you need. You just need it to be good enough to tell the story, whether it's stickmen, whether it's block looking guys, whether it's whatever form of character or whatever your character looks like. It doesn't really matter as long as you get to tell your story, as long as you get the images helps convey the actions of the characters, then it should be okay. It can look like absolute trash, it can look like the worst 5-year-old crayon drawing in the world. It doesn't matter, okay? As long as your audience get the story you're trying to convey and the actions your characters are trying to convey with your art, okay? And yeah, I mean, you gotta start somewhere, okay? If this is your first time drawing and it's your first time picking up a pen or picking up something, starting to draw, getting your mindset in that draw mode or whatever, godlike artwork is not gonna just fly out of your fingertips, okay? You're gonna have to get to working, okay? You're gonna have to practice. You're gonna have to learn about anatomy. You're gonna have to learn about all types of weird stuff, okay? And you don't need to know all of it, every single bit of every single thing. You just need to know the basics. You just need to get started, and you just need to push yourself, okay? Push yourself to do it, okay? Don't mind the other people, okay? Their art is just as bad as they think. So, you know, they also have some doubts about their art. They also have the same problems they're facing. Their art may look better, but they still want to improve, okay? So you are on your own level. Do not compare yourself to the professionals. Don't do that, okay? Do not compare yourself to professionals unless you are learning from them. It's always good to take from the professionals, always good to learn from them, but do not compare your art to them. Always try and do things to the best of your abilities and figure out your own art style. You know, everybody, and this is the one of the common problems that people have is your art style might differ from most of the artists that you are following, and your artistic eye is not the same as every artist. So you might see things differently. You might your muscle memory or whatever you're using to kind of put things together might be different from the other artists. So you might draw things completely different from the artist that you're following, and that's fine because you are finding your way. It's good to have a foundational point, okay? It's good to have some artists where you follow and you're working your art from there. That's fine. You can have a foundational point. My foundational point was DBZ. You know, I followed Akira Toriyama and his art style, and I really loved it. He had another manga series, Dr. Slum. I checked that out as well. You know, so I was very into his artistic style. And this is early Dragon Ball though. Once it got into Dragon Ball Z, like once I saw the anime and stuff like it, I was like, okay, I actually want to do this. This looks pretty good. The animation's solid and all that types of stuff. And then I looked more into the anatomy of the DBZ characters, which are very jacked. They have all the muscle in the world. So my characters looked mostly jacked, and I had to figure out. But what I noticed is from my art is I kind of did more of a realistic approach to the DBZ characters, where I didn't like make their muscles as solid as most of the DBZ characters, because they had certain types of shapes that they use for their arms and legs and stuff like that. And I kind of like curve them out like more realistically, so they don't have that like chiseled definition like most DBC characters had. They had more of a I think like with the guy who's taking over for Akira Toriyama now, I can't remember his name, but his art style I think is more similar to the art style I went for back in the day. And yeah, so I kind of built everything on that, and then I looked at Western comics like Spider-Man, Batman, you know, these types of Western comics, and I kind of liked the way they had the shading and all these types of things, and then I kind of implemented that as well onto my style. So yeah, I mean, I kind of figured out my own way. So art isn't really that important. I kind of went on a tangent on there, but art isn't really that important when it comes to making your story. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. So when it comes to making your webcomic, it can be tough at times. Okay, you're gonna be unmotivated at times. You're gonna feel like, oh god, I don't feel like drawing now. I don't feel like this. I don't feel like that. And there are many ways to stay motivated, and staying motivated also improves your art. And how does the motivation improve your art? Well, if you're motivated, you will be more risky with your art. I will say that. Like, you would take more risks in things that you haven't done yet. You would challenge yourself more to do that specific thing. Maybe you don't like drawing hands. But once you have that motivation, that drive, you know, you realize, okay, I'm gonna do hands today. Okay, I'm gonna be drawing hands today. I'm gonna figure this out. Okay, and you know, through that motivation, you will learn a bunch of stuff. Even though you make mistakes, maybe you're not really getting it, but you will kind of get close enough to where you have learned the steps you need to improve that specific skill. Look at other artists' work. Do not compare your work to theirs, but look at specific points in their artwork and like what type of techniques do they utilize to make their artwork easier to draw. Not just easier to draw, but simplify it, as well as the best way to memorize certain aspects of their artwork. You want to implement some of the techniques and methods to help improve your art as well. Also, the best way I found to stay motivated when it comes to webcomics is maybe have someone who does the same thing, who also does webcomics. Sit down together, you know, have a little drawing session, you know, figure things out as you go along. You know, I have streams every Sunday. I didn't have a stream this Sunday. I'm sorry about that, by the way. A bit too busy. But this Sunday, I will definitely have a stream for you guys. So if you need someone to sit down and draw with, I'm your guy. Okay, I'm here streaming every Sunday 9:30 SAST, so you can come along on the stream and we can draw together, share some techniques, some tips, and I'll share some of my techniques and tips, and we can learn from each other. This is basically the best way you can figure out your art style, as well as keep yourself motivated, because now you're learning, as well as you're spending time with someone. You're having fun while you're doing this, and that's also important. So this is kind of how I improved my artwork as well. I had a friend who was still an awesome artist. Like, we used to sit down and draw comics together, and like, he would draw a panel, I would draw a panel. We would finish each other's panels and try and like match up the story, the actions, and it was pretty fun. It's kind of like a relay storytelling. I'm telling one panel, and then he's kind of like feeding off that one panel and then drawing his own panel, and then it's like a story. It just goes on from us too, and you see what we have at the end, and it's pretty fun, man. It's pretty fun to do. Also, the best way to stay motivated in terms of learning about artwork as well is doing some fan art. Like, doing some fan art of your favorite artists. Okay, this I feel is like one of the most motivating factors that I currently started doing, because you love a certain series or comics, and doing artwork on these things, it's kind of awesome to do, as well as maybe to your own character that you feel would fit into the series as well. That's also pretty cool to do. Concept art also helps with motivation. There's a lot of things you can think about, a lot of ideas. Don't just store them away, write them down. It might come in handy someday. Okay, so I talked about not comparing your art to other artists, and by this I mean, I don't mean like studying. Okay, I don't mean like studying. That's fine. Studying from other artists is always a good idea. You can learn certain techniques, certain things that I've spoken about before. But what's most important is you don't really compare your art to other artists, in the sense of their art. You look at their art as better than yours. You're kind of putting your art on a lower level than theirs. You're kind of pushing them up. No, that's not what you do. Obviously, in the beginning stages, you're not on their level. Okay, they're professionals. They've been doing this for a long time. You're not there yet. But, and this is the key factor right here, you can get there. Okay, it's not like they started where you starting. Eventually you can get there. It's not like a impossible task, you know. You will get there in your own way. They got there a certain way, you will definitely get there in your own way. You don't have to follow the exact same path that they have chosen. That's their path. Okay, there's no wrong way of doing art. There's only your way of doing art. Okay, so you just gotta figure out what is your way. What do you specialize in? What is your strengths? What is your weaknesses? How can you improve your weaknesses? Because that's a good thing. If you bump up your weaknesses, that will only make your strengths stronger, to be honest. You'll kind of be closing the gap between that spectrum over there of weakness and strength, you know. So you'll kind of instead of, like, let's say you have like very bad at drawing hands. You just can't draw hands, okay? But you're good at drawing facial structures and all that type of stuff, and bodies and stuff like that. What you want to do is work more on your hands, work a bit less on your body, but don't stop working on what you have worked on before. Just work less on that, work more on your hands, and you're kind of closing the gap to where your hands look all right. They look good. They look good enough, and that's fine. That's fine, okay? Also, just a quick tip, do not, when it comes to anatomy and all this crazy things, you know, in terms of art for webcomics, you don't really need all that stuff, because you're not going to spend the entire day on one panel, because you can't spend the entire day on one panel. You got to keep it moving. So also find a better way to improve the speed of your art. And not just that, but to simplify it as well, so that you don't really overcomplicate it, and then you kind of spending like three hours on a panel. You don't want that. So figure out a way to simplify it as well, and figure out a way to make it easier and faster for you to draw, because that's what you got to do. You got to practice. What I normally do is I would draw something and I would time myself on how long it takes to do the line art. How long does it take to do the coloring? How long does it take to do the shading? How long does it take to do the lighting? In some cases, you might not even need the lighting if you have a specific style. You can get away with maybe some glow effects or whatever. Utilize the tools you have to make things easier for yourself and faster as well. And get it done faster is what I mean. Now, as always, this is the most important rule, as always, okay? And it's always cheesy, but it's always good to know, which is believe in your art. You gotta believe, guys. I don't know how much times I gotta say this, but you gotta believe in your art, okay? If you don't believe in your art, then who will? Okay, honestly, if you don't believe in it, then no one else will, because you yourself are not believing in your art. You gotta believe that this art is worth something, okay? You gotta believe it's worth something, whether it's 2 cents, whether it's 5 cents, it's at least worth something, okay? And definitely the value of your art will increase once you get better at it. When it comes to webcomics, your art is definitely a good percentage of what people look at, but the story as well is also much more important. There's many people on Webtoon and Tapas as well, whose art, well, mostly Webtoon. Tapas doesn't really have a big variety of people. Like most of the time it's like people who have like crazy art like skills. So I haven't seen really any it looks like a studio has done it. It doesn't look like it's usually done by one person. So yeah, on Webtoon is a giant variety of skill levels when it comes to art. So it's definitely a higher chance of you getting your art out, your webcomic out there. Obviously the chances of Webtoon is pretty low, I will be honest. Like there's no way you're gonna get the requirements that they are requesting. But it's good to get your stuff out there, man. It's good to start. It's good to get it out there, especially if you enjoy doing it. I will never recommend like going full on onto Webtoon and like just quitting your job and doing all that types of crazy stuff, because you do not want to do that, because you need a backup plan. Don't do that as well. Oh, I hit my hand on the desk, and I hit my hand that was on the desk with my other hand. That's what I did. Oh my god. Okay. But I just wanted to hammer home that point, you know what I mean? So yeah. This is a little just a little short video for you guys. Keep you guys motivated, keep you guys going. You know, you always need a little push every now and then, and I always gotta give that push. I always gotta stay motivated myself, but at the same time I don't cloud my judgment and my reality. I know like on Webtoon it's pretty hard to get up there. It's pretty hard to get to even 1,000 subs, getting trying to get the ridiculous requirements they're asking you as well. Never put your eggs in one basket as well. Always try different avenues of uploading your webcomic to different places and all that types of stuff. You don't really want to just put your eggs in one basket, as I've said. Just keep that in mind as well. There's many other creators and artists that have spoken about this who are more knowledgeable on Webtoon than me. I just know about specific art things because I've been in the animation industry for a while now. I know about certain aspects of animation that I've applied to my webcomic, and making things easier as well as things that I've implemented from that experience to increase my art skill and experience as well. So but anyway, hopefully you guys have learned something from this video. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you just felt it entertaining to listen. Maybe you just needed some background noise. No problem. I got you. Yeah, I'm just sharing my experience with you guys. Hopefully that will inspire you guys and motivate you guys to do better. Maybe it will help you guys through your webcomic / art journey. You know, thank you guys for listening. And I will be trying to stream this Sunday. I know I must start the stream yesterday, but well, actually I'm recording this on Monday, so it is yesterday, but I mean like Sunday, last Sunday. I didn't have time to really record because I didn't finish my webcom because a whole bunch of stuff happened, so I wanted to get that done. And then, you know, my cat's been acting crazy and I had to kind of take care of that. And then I had to do a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, my day's been very busy on Sunday. So yeah, so I barely got my webcomic out in time. Well, actually I passed the time already, but it's fine, you know. It's not a problem. We got it out. It's out there. It's out there now. That's all it is to it. Okay. And I'm still getting some content out to you guys on my YouTube channel. You guys seem to enjoy it. I hit 100 subs. Thanks for that. It's doing pretty well. I'm glad that you guys actually enjoy the content, and your feedback is always appreciated. You can always come onto the live stream, sit down, and we can hang out, guys. You know, it's always there. I try to answer every single comment as well, because I don't have that much subs, so it's much easier now. But I know if I keep going like this and it keeps growing and growing, it's gonna come to a point when I'm at a certain number of subs where I have to, it's gonna really be quite difficult. But I will still answer all you guys' comments. Okay, I will do my best. So thank you guys for watching. If you liked it, and this is actually, you know, I said that other part is the most important part. No, this is the most important part. Okay, look here. Okay, out there's a like button. Okay, there's a like button. Okay, he's out there. You gotta find him, guys. You gotta smash that like button And then you gotta go subscribe to this channel, man. Just subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. And you know, see you guys in the next video. Cheers, guys.